All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Horror. This is a show where we discuss the horror movie of the week. And tonight we'll be talking Freddy versus Jason. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether it's right now or later on. Thank you for your time. And I want to thank my fellow panelists for being here. Tommy, how are you doing tonight?
Week. Hey, first off, I'd just like to say to everybody that is returning to visit us, thank you for being here. Be sure to share out the link, and we hope that you enjoy. That's all I got to say about that.
Nice.
Awesome. ETEP, this is the debut stream for you on Real Horror. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here. I actually was watching a couple reviews. I haven't watched Freddy vs. Jason in over a decade easily, but I own it now. So I got the Scream Factory box set.
Nice.
The wife got me, so I might check it out. Wow. I can't let the kid watch it. Yeah, I'm not giving him the Nightmare on Elm Street yet. You know, Jason and Michael Myers are one thing, but no, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me. And we're actually doing a ranking video of all the Friday the 13th movies next week on the channel, so that'll be coming out. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right, Vinny, how's it going tonight?
Hey, sorry, I was just running a little bit late. Been spending most of the day trying to fix my network adapter. It keeps disconnecting me for some reason to the internet.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that's I was a few minutes late. Plus, I was wolfing down some food. But just like good old Walter White, I'm very proud of the product I make. So, I'm looking forward for tonight. It's going to be a fun time. I love this movie. This is one of my favorites out of both franchises, to be honest. So hell yeah.
Awesome. Glad you all could be here. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Gap, Janet, Gap again. Hi, Gap. Casey, Charlie chats. I'm not going to ban you from the chat this time, I promise. Supreme Heretic, Stieg. Thank you all for being here. ETEP's on the panel and in the chat, doing double duty. So yeah, we can go ahead and go around the panel, and looks like Tommy's in first place. Tommy, what are your thoughts on the movie?
I enjoyed this movie. It was definitely a fun movie. I was a little bit thrown off by how tall Jason was because, you know, many of us who were Kane Hodder fans when he took over the franchise for that 3-movie run, we really liked his portrayal of Jason. I know there's not a whole lot he can do, but there was just certain body movements, certain head tilts. There were certain things that he brought to the Jason character that didn't exist there with the previous actors. So it was a little bit off-putting to see a different person there, but I think it was still well done. I think they hit on a lot of the things that make both of these characters who they are. And I would say that my only gripe about this, and I know I'm starting it off early about this, but it's the one scene where he delves into Jason's nightmares supposedly, and that Jason is scared of water, and I found that just to be absolute garbage. I didn't like that part. If he would have said he was scared to lose his mom because he was a mommy's boy, I could have went with that. But to say that he was scared of water, I didn't buy that part. I think that was the only thing that really just kind of irritated me about this movie. Everything else was great. I mean, having Robert Englund back in again as Freddy, perfect, well done on his part as always. And the storyline itself, the plot line was actually pretty good for a horror movie, because most horror movies, especially slashers, don't have plot lines, people. If you're going to watch a horror slasher movie and you're looking for a plot line, you are watching the wrong film.
Hey, Tina, awesome. Thank you for being here. This is one of my favorites as well. And
look,
welcome.
it just flew in, and boy, are his wings tired.
What's up?
That's right.
Welcome, Draven. How's it going tonight?
It's going good. I just got off work. So I'm ready to talk about some Freddy versus Jason, I guess.
Awesome. Hey, Soul Assassin, thanks for showing up. Mr. Pelp Noir, thanks for being here.
Awesome people.
So, yeah, ETEP, what are your thoughts?
All right. This one is rough because Friday the 13th is my favorite horror franchise. I love Jason Voorhees. I hated this movie. I absolutely hated it. I hated it from a standpoint of a Friday the 13th fan. Okay, let me preface it by saying that. As just a little like a young kid's horror, as a horror fan, a dream slasher matchup, Freddy versus Jason. Awesome concept, absolutely. But, the be careful what you wish for saying. I think this would have been better had it not been in development hell for a decade or better. This came out in August of 2003, because I remember seeing it in the theater. And it should have come out in the mid 90s, probably shortly after Jason Goes to Hell, which is another abortion. There was good things in here. You had what's his name, Ken Kersinger playing Jason. That was he was the guy in part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, in the diner that Kane Hodder threw into the window when he came out from behind the counter. That's who played Jason in this one. Big guy. Looked really good. I will say that. Robert Englund was Robert Englund in this. But Kelly Rowland, I know you need to pay your bills. You got to pay your automobile. You got to pay your cell phone bill, Kelly, but you didn't belong in this. The casting choices were a bit questionable to me. The performances, the dialogue, I mean, even for a slasher movie, was kind of meh. But like I said, if you just turn your brain off and don't think about it as a Friday the 13th movie and just look at it from like, you always want to see this. It's I could watch it again. And like I said, I plan on it. It's because I got the Blu-ray with all the extra features now. But wasn't this, what's his name? John Woo? I want to say John Woo directed this, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Yeah, it's something.
No, it didn't. It was an Asian director. But it wasn't John Woo. This guy, he did a couple of movies overseas.
Yeah.
He worked with Brandon Lee. It wasn't on something.
It wasn't a good fit. Some really cool kills. I can give it that.
Ronnie Yu. Sorry.
Ronnie Yu.
Yeah.
John Woo, Ronnie Yu. They rhyme.
They all look alike to ETIP.
Same difference.
Yeah, whatever. They're like white people. They all look the same.
Sure. Jason versus Freddy. Sure.
Well, technically they're white adjacent. So according to college admission standards, but no, like I said, if you just look at it like a slasher, it's fun. But as a Friday the 13th movie, I forgot Drew. I didn't see Drew. I didn't. You're white adjacent. You should be happy. I
was supposed to pull out Cena when I did that. My bad.
I pictured him.
Nobody should ever pull out the Cena. That's disgusting.
No.
You can't see him.
Ask the one Bella twin about that. But no,
She couldn't see it either.
you knew Jason really wasn't going to get the justice he deserved in a New Line Cinema movie, because that's who released this. So,
Well,
like
I
said,
don't know about that though, Etep, because you know what? Okay, now if you take Jason Goes to Hell, I like the very beginning of that movie, and I like the very end of that movie. I hated everything in the middle, but I know a lot of people shit on Jason X. I actually kind of like.
I like Jason X.
I read
that one's fun.
I read the back novels that go with it. The back novels for that story and where it's supposed to go after that are actually really interesting.
I'm kind of, like I said, that one I just watched it with Trey. That was the first one I watched out of the box set. He was like, "Can we watch Jason X?" Because I told him he went to space. He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Let's watch this one."
Okay, here's something I think we can all agree on. Etep, I mean everybody here, that the soundtrack to this movie was absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, I have the soundtrack pulled up.
I don't remember.
It has
anything off the
Power Man 5000 on it, Seven Dust, In Flames, Hatebreed, Typo Negative, Seether, Lamb of God, El Nino, Devil Driver, Killswitch Engaged, Slipknot, and Stone Sour is like,
wow.
This soundtrack is stacked. Like
that is
they had Stone Sour and Slipknot.
Yep.
That's interesting that he did it, but with both bands.
I would say, is it Corey Taylor?
Yeah. That's him. Both of them.
Okay.
It even has From Autumn to Ashes, to name a few. But yeah.
I wanted to show Vinny's profile picture. This is awesome.
Yeah, I was digging to go find it. That's why I had a temporary one there before. But yeah, that's the one I met Robert Englund, and I gotta say, this is probably the best opening I think to both franchises, because it hit everything for me anyway the way it should have. Yeah, there were some misses in this movie for sure. I think Kelly was completely miscast. She was annoying to see in this movie. Every time she was on screen, I couldn't stand to see her. I'm like, when's he gonna kill her already? But we got some gratification on that, so that was excellent. But that opening was solid. From how Freddy pretty much reawakens Jason and sends him to do his bidding. Like that concept kind of worked for me. I know a lot of people might have been a little bit on the fence about it, but I thought it was pretty cool because they're trying to completely erase or cancel Freddy from existence in the town. So by having these gruesome kills, everyone's thinking that it's Freddy. He's returned and all that, and it starts to give him his power. Like the concept is there. Did they miss a few things? For sure. I don't like the pinball stuff that they did.
I love that.
I like that too.
I don't. Well, the sound effect alone was like, what? Well, come on.
Man, I loved it.
But it still made sense when it was, because it was still in the dream world. But when it's in reality and they're still kind of flying a little bit during that fight, I was like, come on, grounded a little bit more. But I got to say, Robert Englund was at the top of his game yet again. Holy crap. My favorite scene is that one when he's jumping out of the lake when the main heroine there, she kind of pulls Jason out, like wakes him up, and Freddy's so damn pissed that he comes jumping out of the water. He's got like that devil face, and he's like 15 feet in the air. And Robert Englund was so pissed he wanted to do that. They made the stunt double do it, but they both put on the makeup for it. And obviously he did the speaking part, but he wanted to do that jump. He's like, no, give it to me. I want that. But they couldn't sign off on it.
Yeah, it was the same type of face that he had in New Nightmare.
Yeah,
that's right.
Again. Oh, by the way, there is a sequel to that, a fan film. I think it's coming out soon. It's that little kid that was in the movie as well. I think he played. Did he play Nancy's son? He's the one from Kindergarten. From the one from Kindergarten Cop. Boys have penises, girls have vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing like a fan made thing, and it's like a sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I saw like a little snippet of that the other day. I forgot to tell you guys because I was still messing around with this stupid internet thing. And I just forgot. But going back for a sec though to this whole film, I thought it was handled well. They made sure to get those points in there that needed to be put in there for people who were unaware with both franchises. I think they nailed it. The whole thing with Jason's mom, Freddy being Tom Hanks, James Gunn type person, all that stuff. Like they nailed it. They got it down cold, because a lot of people seem to forget that Freddy did what he did, and there's a reason why he was killed by the parents. But that being said, I think again they did a great job with this. For someone who should be so hated, Robert Englund brought that character to life in every possible way, and to finally see him face off with Jason was great. I wish that they were able to get Ash in there like they were supposed to. It was supposed to be that three-way, pretty much in this film.
Well, at least for some of us, we did get to see it in the comics. So,
yeah, I know they did. At the time, I wasn't picking up those books though, because I can't stand dynamic forces and all that shit. That the owners are just scumbag. But I thought that it really does suck that we didn't get to see that. You know, it should have happened, but again, the studios couldn't sign off on everything because everyone wanted their guy to win, and I think that's one of the reasons why this kind of went into limbo as well. And eventually, they dug it out and made sure to give him like an equal, I guess, a fair ending where it could still go either way. So that was cool. I'll give them that. And I know that extra thing we talked about on other streams. At the very end, it was supposed to be Ash would have won, and then Jason and Freddy would have been in hell, and then Pinhead would have popped up there, which would have been amazing. That's the fan service I think we all would have been happy with all the way.
Which does New Line have the Hellraiser series, or
wait? At this point, I
can't remember who even used it. Was it who had New Line? Was it Hellraiser? Was it Orion Pictures back in the day, or was it Dimension? No, Dimension was Halloween, because they were tied in with Compass International and the Weinsteins and all that. Miramax.
Dimension. Well, I'm looking. It says under Hellraiser, it says Dimension, Riverdale, Miramax, and more. So I don't know who originally. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who the first one was.
I can picture their logo. They had that red logo. It looked like a shutter kind of. I'm trying to think what the hell their name was. God damn it! I could probably look it up.
Remember either.
I want to discuss the cornfield rave that Soul Assassin brings up. I loved that when those punks that were like drinking what was it, Everclear?
Yeah.
and smoking pot, and the guy was like, this Everclear is kicking my ass, and they were just acting like total doofuses. And then Jason's like standing behind him. I love that. And then when they light him on fire, man, I just love that, how he's walking slowly through the cornfield, and it's like he's lighting all of the corn on fire. Like I just love that whole thing.
There were awesome visuals in this movie. There
were.
And how he throws his machete and kills that punk kid.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
He rifled that thing through that. I was like, holy shit, he's going to axe throwing.
He has like super strength in this, like in the first kill where he kills the boyfriend and just
in the bed,
pulls the bed in half. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Every time that Jason resurrects, his strength increases, because in every single movie when he comes back, he gets stronger. By the time he comes back and Jason lives, he's able to do that, bend somebody over backwards, because he does it to the sheriff towards the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Sheriff Garris.
His
in
strength. 6. Yeah, his strength wasn't like that in the previous movies. Yeah, every time he dies and comes back, he's stronger. So when he dies and Jason goes to hell, because this takes place after that, he's even stronger because now he's resurrected again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think he's seen Jason Goes to Hell.
I watch the first half hour and maybe the last half hour, and that's it.
Guys are like, no, don't.
No.
See,
Yeah,
I couldn't watch Jason X. I couldn't watch X either, and you guys are raving about that one. Like, I only seen the opening, and then like when they take him
X
to
is
space,
so
and he's
good.
all like, no, I'm
X
sorry.
is great.
The cool thing about the opening to Jason X is David Cronenberg is in it. All right, he plays one of the generals and he gets killed. It was pretty cool to see him make a guest appearance. But no, the cornfield rave, the visuals in that are freaking amazing. Like that's what, like I said, this, if you look at the kills in it, yeah, it's
solid.
pretty. They were very solid.
Yeah.
Well, even
But-
Freddy, like when he finally gets like the power, like he's getting it back already. Like that was fantastic. Because that was that one stupid kid who was with John Ritter's son, the ones from the Looney Bin.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
little
can't think of their names.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
When that whole scene happened, I just felt like I was straight up in watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Like,
Well,
he
yeah,
dropped
yeah,
his
well,
last
yeah.
kid down the drain.
You're talking about that, Vinny. I mean, a really cool part is when you see him, like, at the one point, he's like, oh, almost enough to get him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that felt. I really think that. I really thought that the directing, well, I guess it's producing as well. The way that they put the movie together, where when it was focused on Freddy, you felt like you were watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and when they were focused on Jason, you felt like you were watching a Friday the 13th movie.
Absolutely.
And I really thought that they did a really good job showing the contrast between the two characters, and then when they had them together, and it was just like chaos and fire, and I just thought that was really well done. I really do love this movie a lot.
Yeah. And they looked great. You know, both of them did. Even like that size on Jason. I mean, I know everyone loves Kane Hodder, but I think this guy did a great job. He was really fantastic. Even like in that cornfield, when that part happened and he put himself out, like he took the machete and he went into the beer keg and sprayed himself to put the fire out. Like that was awesome.
You know what? I can't resist this one.
Yeah.
Noah Warden, but better than running naked through a cornfield backwards.
Ooh.
And I there was one other comment I want to get to real quick. Somebody, who the hell did it? Somebody said, wasn't there? Oh, here it is. Soul Assassin. Wasn't there a fan theory that Jason is dead? Actually, they cover that in Jason Goes to Hell.
Yep.
So it's actually not a fan theory. It's actually something they put in the movie.
He's not a deadite. Just because they use a Necronomicon in that, he's not a deadite. Jason is I would say a revenant, as opposed to a deadite. The deadites still communicate. Jason never communicates.
And if you destroy a deadite, they stay dead. Where he actually resurrects. It started as a fan theory, and then like you said, they acknowledged it in part 9 with the Necronomicon. But yeah, given that we've seen deadites die in Evil Dead, and we know that, like you said, they're dead, they're gone once they're killed. Yeah, they don't keep popping up. And that's the fact that he keeps coming back like that should have dispelled that theory pretty quick. All things considered,
technically the deadites in those movies too, there are ones that don't stay dead. Their corpses even get back up, even like the decapitated ones.
Evil Ash did in Army of Darkness. He did reassemble himself.
See, I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in years and years and years.
And
I
there's
only
ones
saw it
that
once.
like can use your like past stuff to to kind of like
to get you.
So
I don't know. So like for me, looking at like, okay, so you got Jason and Freddy tied together. I'm just like, and this is I'm not the biggest Evil Dead fan. Like I enjoyed, like I watched the show. It was first season. I got to go back and I think there's a couple more seasons I got to watch.
Yeah, there's 3 seasons altogether.
It was good.
Fantastic.
It was really good. The first movie was solid. Anything after that, I don't remember. I don't remember Evil Dead 2. Was it Dead by Dawn? Yep. I don't remember Army of Darkness. I haven't seen them in so long.
Yeah, Dead by Dawn is pretty much a remake of the first one, but better. and then
Okay.
it goes right into Army of Darkness, and then from there you just watch the television series, and you're
Well,
solid.
I'd say the biggest difference between the two is when they did Evil Dead 2, they actually took it a lot more campy than the first one was.
They did.
Okay.
They did.
Mm.
I
but
didn't like the remake. I didn't like the remake at all. I hated it.
I
It was
like
like
the remake.
I
was
like it because it was just a straight up horror movie. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
it,
It's different. I mean, I can
It-
appreciate both.
to
Hey,
me. I just
Tony.
looked at it like
Don't
gore for
try to
gore's
hack
sake.
my chat, okay? Yeah, Dead by Dawn. Yeah, it's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2. I like better than Evil Dead, the first one. But
Mhm.
that's also because I mean, there were high school students on the lowest budget you can imagine, and then it got really good. They did good, and so the second one, and I think if I remember correctly, Bruce Campbell said that it wasn't originally supposed to be like campy horror. It was
Mhm.
supposed to be horror, but it turned into that, and the fans loved it, and so they went with that.
Yep. Because
And
they had those elements of like the Three Stooges that were in there a lot. So
yeah,
because they all love that stuff. So it kind of like as they're goofing off like that. Because you got to remember that first one took them about 4 or 5 years to make.
yeah. That's
It
right.
wasn't something that just happened in a year's time or whatever. No, it took them 4 or 5 years because they needed to get more money in order to finish filming certain scenes. They kept going back to this freaking cabin. It's kind of hilarious, that story. If you ever see like the making of, it's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. The 40th anniversary of Evil Dead, we went to see it in the theater, and before the show, before the movie started, they had like this thing where they were showing Bruce Kim, like, I don't know if you remember, but you could buy tickets to go see Bruce Campbell, and he would like talk about the making of the movie and stuff like that before they would actually show the movie.
Right.
Well, what they did, if you weren't in the area and you couldn't do that, was they would show like part of the recording of that and show it in the movie theater before the movie. And I got a lot of like backstage information from that. And it was Bruce Campbell, talking to the audience that was there.
Yeah.
And he was saying that like him and Sam Raimi, I think that's who it was. They had like to get loans and stuff, and
Mhm.
like he owed his father a lot of money because he like pitched this like we're gonna do good and you get your money back, and obviously that ended up working out for him. But I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. He put it in
Mhm.
his book too. If what was it? If chins could, I don't remember the name of the book, but I do have it. And in there,
Hail to the chins.
Hail to the Chins. That was it. And he broke it all down in there too. And it's crazy. They went all over town. They found like every dentist, doctor, lawyer that they could find, and promised them you'll get a producer credit and all this other shit, just so they could get some capital so they could finish it. I thought it was funny, really funny what they did.
Yeah, those guys, man, they really worked for it. That's so
Oh, yeah.
much respect for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But again, like with that kind of genre, that's why I think it would have worked so well, especially that kind of comedy with Freddy. Oh man, it's what a missed opportunity. Because man, his lines, whenever you saw him on screen, you just wanted more of Robert Englund.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The best was like when she goes back to in the dream to Crystal Lake there, and she's like, "Aren't you gonna help him? He's drowning." And then you see it's Freddy, and he's banging like one of the girls, and she's
Yeah.
dead. She's dead on her feet. This bitch. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was hilarious. And he's got on like just a t-shirt from the camp, with his sweaters on underneath it.
Yep.
The
Aren't
the
you
scene.
gonna come? Well, it's not my fault. She's dead on her feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so great.
The scene where he does the jerk off motion is great too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was
That's-
funny.
Yeah, that's in that pinball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he
love
tries
that.
to use his machete on him, and it doesn't do anything, obviously.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny too. It's funny with this movie because when I first saw it, I loved it. Second time I saw it, like I bought it. I'm like, it wasn't as good as I remembered. And then watching it to get ready for this stream, like week and a half ago, whatever it was, I loved it again. So
Yeah.
it's interesting because I know there are elements that really do suck in there, and it's mostly because of like Kelly or just certain things that like they dragged it out too much. It's like let's get back to our two main players. But this was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like like Tommy mentioned, there's definitely some plot hole stuff that's going on in the movie, and I think it definitely could be better, but I just can't help loving it because I thought that like I've already said, the way that they just made these two characters that are just totally from two different worlds come together in this film like seamlessly I just really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I just love how they kept Freddy's humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on, let me blow you up. Hold on.
It's when he chops off his arms.
Yeah.
And then he just regrows them.
Yeah. That was so great.
And you hear the sound effect. It goes like whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I just love it.
Yeah, this movie came out the summer after I graduated, so I obviously 2003, and then graduated in like June, and then it came out in August, and it the soundtrack by far is my favorite thing of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just
Solid
because it's
soundtrack.
like a soundtrack to high school, basically.
See, all right, I'll say my one big pet peeve. You probably laugh. My biggest pet peeve was that opener. Even though I loved it, I loved the opening. My biggest pet peeve: fake tits. You're not gonna have someone who's supposed to be like one of these like young chicks or whatever who's running around naked like that. She's not gonna have implants, and not at that time.
I know.
That's the one thing I'm like, no. But again, the scenes were still great when he stuck her to the tree, and then she started changing to all those different people as she was talking to him, like the way that Freddy was messing with his mind. That was awesome. But yeah, don't do fake tits in these movies like that. Come on, guys. We appreciate the nice natural ones, and it makes more sense to the story if you go natural.
I want.
Yep.
I'm a connoisseur.
I want to say
I'm right
hello
there.
to some people in the chat. Fedorable the Horrible. Another Star Wars YouTube channel. Bone. Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah, super fans in the chat too. What's up, super fan?
Oh, Adam. Yes.
What's
of
up?
course. Yeah. So. Oh yeah.
I'm kind of curious though. I want to get back to what I was saying earlier about that. Did anybody else notice that problem with Jason being scared of water?
Yeah. It wasn't intended to be him afraid of water. It's just the way they shot the scene, and it looked that way because they talked about it in the commentary. But it was they chose poorly.
Because he was more like reliving that moment when he drowned. That's what the whole thing
Yeah, it was more like his inner child that was afraid of it, not him.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so what you're trying to say, he was scared of the drowning aspect, not so much scared of water. Because the way I received it is they were saying he was scared of water. And
that's the way it looked.
Yeah. And by that standard, I would say that is absolute nonsense because obviously in the later movies, he's in the water pulling people down and killing them. And and like even this part, because I'd actually talked to somebody else and they were trying to make the argument, but this is all Pamela ever says about it.
He wasn't a very good swimmer.
That's it. Not that he was scared of water, that he wasn't a very good swimmer, implying that he was still going in the water quite often.
Yeah. Although when he did go back down to like little Jason and Freddy standing over him, that was the best.
And he's like, "Oh, you really are an ugly little shit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then he puts right into his head.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was excellent.
It was
what a
good.
great scene.
Yeah, Tommy, I had never actually thought about that with Jason and how they made him afraid of water in this movie. It it's not even, I didn't even think about it. I just took it as, like, because we were talking earlier, and I just took it as he drowned, so he must carry that fear of water. But how you were explaining that doesn't make sense. That's something that didn't even cross my mind.
Well, I mean, because the way they kind of portrayed it, because they even have in the one scene is almost like a shower, like over top of him. It's not even like buckets of water, like he's drowning, just like shower water coming down over, and he's like scared, and that makes no sense whatsoever. Matter of fact, the very first scene we ever get of Jason is him coming out of the damn lake and pulling the girl under from on the canoe. So. I mean, and like once again, you go back all these different scenes, like Tina in a New Blood. He's trying to pull her under the water to kill her, and then she somehow raises her father from the dead to drag him down with the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what, too, and I'll say I think this happens with almost getting like lost in translation type thing, because when you do have an Asian director, someone who doesn't speak English all that well, and they're calling these kind of shots, in these movies, like they want that visual. Because that's the one thing with them, it's there are powerful visuals that they want to get across, but sometimes it's not going to land right with the major lore of whatever they're dealing with. Because I've come across that before, and especially designing figures and stuff. There's always something that's kind of amiss between those little logistics about all that stuff.
Well, I think in one of the scenes they do show him with arm floaties, didn't they?
Huh?
Didn't one of the scenes show him with arm floaties? I could have swore it did.
In this one?
No.
Not in this one.
No,
not in this one.
It does kind of ring a bell that he says that, and I don't know if it's that Mandela effect.
I know.
But I think maybe possibly in another movie.
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Was it when they were tormenting him?
Water.
Wait. Was it in the dream? It might have been in the dream.
that's what I was thinking.
Are we thinking of that or Sleepaway Camp? Because I'm pretty sure
I
they
know.
had floaties in Sleepaway Camp.
I was thinking Sleepaway Camp too.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp.
Hey, that movie's
Hey, man.
great.
It is a good movie.
I love the first one. The second one is complete and utter dog shit, and the third one is the third one is Actually, the third one is It has a few moments in there where it's kind of funny.
I can't find anything like quick search of Jason Voorhees wearing arm floaties, so I have no idea.
He didn't. No, it had to be Sleepaway Camp. No, I found one of the images of all the kids pushing them into the water. There were no floaties in that.
Yeah, and that was another thing that bugged me because there was it wasn't that they pushed them in the water. As Pamela says that they weren't paying attention. They were too busy having sex.
But you got to remember,
that's right.
But you got to remember that's the nightmare thing. That didn't happen.
Yeah. So Adam, the reason you're right, kid Jason would be afraid of water, not adult Jason, and that is actually what they were getting at in this movie, because Freddy dug deep into adult Jason's head to pull out that memory of him being afraid of the water, which we're to assume that it stems from him drowning.
Well, yeah, and me and Lasso were talking about this more. I'm sorry, Lasso and I. Is that correct, John? Lasso and I. We were talking about this green room, and one of the things I would say, if anything, Jason would have been scared of, it would have been losing his mother, because he's very much a mama's boy, very much like Norman Bates in the aspect that he keeps her sweater and keeps her head after she's killed in the first movie when you're leading into the second movie, and I think even into the third movie as well. Like he refuses to let go of his mother. So I would assume that if there was going to be a deep, dark fear, it would be losing his mother.
Yeah.
Right.
When you
he torments. Doesn't he torment them with that as well? And then he
to a degree, yeah. That's how he uses him to do all his dirty work to try to bring fear back to Elm Street.
No, but later in the movie too, there's a quick scene where like he transforms in there or something to mess with them.
Mm-hmm.
If I knew the
Yeah,
scene it was, I try to
He
look
does
for it.
something.
Well, I remember him having. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for showing up. I did say hi to you in the chat. Yeah, he does like present Jason's mother to him in that like boiler room type.
Yeah.
Wherever that was.
Mm-hmm.
Does he do it? I think he does do it another time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did it at least twice. He did it in the
Yeah.
opening, and then later in the movie, he does it again.
Yeah.
Well, there was a few times. I think it was actually more than twice. I want to say, because wasn't there a few times he went back and says, "You're not doing what I told you." You know, there was a few
Yeah.
times where he showed up in that guy's.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So they did tap into his, like his weird connection with it. Well, it isn't actually a weird connection. He died. He was a little boy, and all he can remember is his mother. So, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they did tap into that. So they did get that right. Now I'm wondering why they didn't go with just his mother's fear, just like the fear of losing his mother, and went with the water instead.
I think because they were playing up on Freddy being scared of fire, so they're polar opposites. I think that's why they did that.
I've heard fans like say that like Jason has always been afraid of water, and obviously we know that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great part of the movie. This was an awesome. I was going to say team up, but that's not the right word.
Yeah. Well, it sort of was at one point, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Freddy,
yeah.
Freddy was manipulating him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Joe Nanchins, thanks for coming.
Welcome.
And then his inner rage took over him, and he couldn't be controlled anymore. So.
Yep.
It would have been. So remember that scene where, can't remember her name, but it was a black girl in the movie, and she's like, "You're not even scary," saying that to Freddy.
You're not even scary.
That was Kelly Rowland.
Yeah.
Oh, what did she say? He had butter knives on his hands.
Yeah. And what's with the butter knives? And Freddy's just standing there, and then he does that like creaking with his blades.
Yeah,
like pointing
behind you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was kind of like a team up, and then he watches Jason kill her, and he's like, "Ooh," like pretending like that was too much for him.
Yeah,
he swats her against the tree, and Freddy was he watched it. I love that look because he's just like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Like that. It's like this is coming from Freddy Krueger, who like crawled out of Mark Patton, the gay guy in part 2? Like crawls out of him and swatting Kelly Rowland against the tree is a bridge too far to cross. I'm like, okay, at least we know where we stand, Fred. All right.
Well, it was that whole thing that he was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna talk down on me? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, look what's coming your way, bitch."
Yeah. I would love to see it if they like actually did team up and just started like slashing and slaying everybody. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But then like a buddy cop movie with Freddy and Jason.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
But then you'd need Ash to like, be the good guy and stop them.
I'll tell you what, though, one thing that this movie did do is it gave a lot of people that had creative minds the ability to actually start building on this idea of these mashup of these monsters. And I've seen a couple really amazing fan films done where they had Michael Myers versus Jason, or Leatherface. I always felt was kind of a weak choice to put in there. Like if you're going to have a movie with these guys in Leatherface, you need Ash to go up against Leatherface. Honestly, chainsaw and chainsaw, that makes more sense. But Michael Myers. Like think if they had the Jinn guy from
Wishmaster.
Wishmaster.
Oh, yeah.
Wishmaster. Like if they had stuff like that, I don't know how well Pinhead would fit into a fight up with these guys, but I mean, there's so many other horror monsters. Pumpkinhead. There would be a lot of
Pumpkinhead.
interesting fights.
I'd like to see Pumpkinhead versus the Xenomorph.
Oh, that'd be
That's
cool because
great.
they're very similar looking.
Oh yeah.
Very, very. And I feel like Pumpkinhead is a very underrated horror movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really is.
I've only seen
dude,
it once as a kid. I barely remember it.
I watched that with Trey, and he fucking loved it.
Did you
Loved
ever check out the comics, ETIP? Apparently, they had comics building on the backstory and lore of Pumpkinhead, and he's supposed to be like a spirit of vengeance because there's something like seven or 9 spirits. I think it was 9 different spirits, and he's the spirit of vengeance.
I've heard of the comics. I never got into read any of them. But I did, like, just from the movie, like, you pick up that he's that vengeful, but I didn't know there was supposed to be, like, more of them. Like, he's not the only one of his kind, I take it, which is kind of a cool concept. Because that franchise really went off the rails after the first one. They had the one that was, like, the Hatfields versus the McCoys. It was, like, a sci-fi movie. That was...
Wow.
Wait,
Nailed
Leatherface versus Nancy Pelosi? Isn't that, like, 2 of the same thing?
Mhm.
Yes, except one has a chainsaw and the other one is borrowing a hammer.
Yeah, it turns out that it's not Leatherface; it's just the guy with the hammer.
It's just Kathy Bates from Misery.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
Leatherface. Leatherface is like, I mean, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie. Don't get me wrong. Even the reboot from 2000 and was it 3? It came out around the 3 or 4, around the same time as Freddy vs. Jason.
I think so, yeah. With
yeah.
Jennifer Beals?
Is that the one with the kill in the van in the beginning where she like?
Yes, the girl. She Minecrafts herself because they swapped her for the creepy guy in the first movie that was Leatherface's brother or cousin or whatever he was, Kunkel. I don't know. Kunkel, his cousin, uncle. They're inbred Hicks. Who knows? He's Uncle Daddy. But Leatherface was like whiny. Leatherface is very whiny and
I was never
insecure.
I was never a big fan of that stuff because it's like he was supposed to be more scary than he came off as, but at the same time, it's like you're just glorifying that one sicko that actually was doing this weird shit.
Ed Gein.
Yeah,
Ed Gein.
Yeah,
He was actually from Wisconsin, I think, not Texas.
Yeah.
I thought he was from Wisconsin.
Yep.
But it's like, for me, that's why I can never really get into that franchise. Like, I've seen a couple of them, and like they're okay for what they are.
Well,
but...
I mean, there was a lot of different movies that pulled from that whole story of Ed Gein. Psycho is another one. The other one is
Right.
Silence of the Lambs, and they fully admitted that they pulled the ideas for these stories from the story of Ed Gein.
I agree with you, but like, there's something about Leatherface that never really it never grabbed me like those other ones. Because Psycho, that's just a great story all around. You know,
yeah.
the acting's fantastic, the cinematography, everything just works perfectly with it. Like those other movies, they have more to it. For Leatherface, it's just like, I don't know, it didn't have enough for me. It didn't have enough story. I guess because the main character too is, to me, like you said, whiny too, and like didn't really have much going on. Freddy's got personality. Jason and Mike Myers, it's the silent, slow killer type thing. But like when they do kill, it's so vicious, and there's other stuff going around them that works. For Leatherface, it's like, okay, he's killing, he's sewing up faces, putting on them. Like it didn't have enough.
They could have done more. They could have made Leatherface better. Joe Nanson's, he was based off the serial killer Ed Gein.
Yeah. But even Silence of the Lambs, like they went more psychological with it, right? On top of all that.
Yeah.
But you had, obviously, I mean, Buffalo Bill character, that's him. Sort of.
Yeah.
But you had the other aspect of Hannibal Lecter, which was way more intricate, way more powerful. And again, his scenes, he only had a handful of scenes in the movie. What did he have? Like less than 20 minutes of airtime. And it was just so fantastic and captivating.
Well, that's the idea. When you have somebody like that, you want all those lines to be impactful, and they made him as impactful as possible for the time that he was going to be on.
Right.
X sort of starts out like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a way.
Yeah, that's one modern horror movie that I actually did enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Pearl is good too, the prequel.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I still got to see those.
You're talking about Silence of the Lambs. and I can correlate that to Friday the 13th because the Brian Fuller that was responsible for the Hannibal series, which was really good, is the showrunner for the Crystal Lake prequel series coming next year on Peacock.
Oh, nice.
It's A24 too, right?
Yep, A24 is
Hell
the
yeah.
studio releasing it. Brian Fuller's the showrunner, and they have use to everything under the sun as far as the franchise goes. I did a video on it. It'll be coming out in a day or so.
It's a prequel though, isn't it?
It is. It
Okay.
is, but they can use everything. They guaranteed the option. They picked up one season, but Peacock will have to pay a penalty if they don't have a second season. And Fuller says he planned 4.
Okay.
So my only apprehension, and Joe Nanchins, you're talking about Sir Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, I've been covering this Crystal Lake prequel series. Every bit of news I can find on it, and like I said, I shot a video this morning. It'll be out probably in a day or so, once it's done at the editors. But yeah, this and I said it in the video, and I had kind of a moment where I was like, I was reading the article and I'm reading some of the things, and I'm like, do not gay this up. Do not fucking gay this up. Excuse my language. Do not gay this up. And the only reason I say that is because they made a point to say, oh, well, Fuller was responsible for that. Was it the show was called like Queer Horror or something like that. Some project he worked on. It was maybe like a documentary about like gay horror. And of course, the first thing that pops in my mind is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which is legitimately the gayest horror movie ever made.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
We just watch them. It's not a bad movie. It's just nothing like the rest of the franchise. But to get back to Friday the 13th, after watching, because I watched the Hannibal series when it was out, I think Fuller can. What's that?
I said it was a bad movie. Freddy 2.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You said it wasn't. I said
it was decent. It was
I like
decent.
it.
It's not the Dream Child. Let's put it that's
no,
shit.
by no
that
means.
was shit. This part 2 is high art compared to the Dream Child. But no, I'm cautiously optimistic about the prequel series. I tell you what I'm trying not to be too let my creative juices flow here too much, because I'm worried that it's going to be a letdown and they're going to try to give us 4 seasons of like Pamela Voorhees, and I'm just like,
right. Because let's face it, if it's the prequel and that's what they're going to be doing, they're going to have to focus on the mother, and then what? It's like, are you going to see who the father is? And then what? How
they were supposed to do that in part 6.
Parent.
They were supposed to lean into was it Elias Voorhees is Jason's father in part 6, but it got deleted. It was taken out.
Okay.
Yeah, what's his name? Tom McLaughlin that directed. He had something to do with it getting nixed. I can't remember if it was runtime or they just didn't think it fit narratively.
I want to know if Tom Savini is going to be, if he has any hand in this stuff, because he's what really made Jason who Jason really is.
Oh, I hope so. I haven't looked into it yet or heard if he's involved, but he should be. Yeah, but if they did a thing like they were jumping back and forth between 2 timelines, like you get like the prequel timeline and then say you go ahead in season 3 and it's like, if you can use Jason, use fully grown Jason.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
this is the thing is don't do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. Don't pull him in to the current day and age. Take him and keep him ambiguously in the 80s. It's a slasher franchise. You don't have to make accurate timelines and dates. I mean, approximations, yes, but making things 100%.
You don't even know where the hell on a map they were freaking sailing the boat.
Okay. Yeah, because Crystal Lake has a tributary that goes into a bay that ties into the Atlantic Ocean. and but it'd literally only be like a 2 hour to 3 hour, maybe what they say, 4 hour tops in that yacht up the coast from, where they're supposedly at.
Yeah.
And I heard a theory, I was watching a bunch of videos on it, and one of the theories was that they had, because, and you could see it in the movies, like they changed Crystal Lake to Forest Green, right? Mm-hmm. So they changed the name to Forest Green. They developed the area more, and maybe they open up like say, what it would be called, a tributary from one of these bays, the inlets from the ocean into a lake. And that's how they navigated the boat. Or Jason simply used his power of teleportation, which we all know he has.
I can't fight your logic.
He can teleport.
He can.
Sure, he's got those tunnels under the ground.
He's not. God damn you.
Sorry, I had to.
No, Vinny. That's a bad Vinny. He is not Leatherface. He didn't dig tunnels, run lights, and set traps.
I'm just messing.
I hate Platinum Dunes for that. I'm just like, he's not Leatherface, you bastards.
I tapped into my Freddy there. Ha 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 ha.
Now, what you were saying about the prequel that they're going to be doing or whatever, they could do like in the Arrowverse, in Arrow, where they do the time jumps. But the last 2 seasons, I want to say, they did a fast forward. So they did like fast forward, like, because they always did the like on the island, like back, those kind of like scenes. They could do something like that in the prequel, and I think it would fit. And then, like you said, utilize Jason like that.
Oh God, yeah. If you can, and get Kane Hodder to come back. Get Kane Hodder to come back. He's Jason, and I was talking about this. If I ever met Kane Hodder, it would be difficult, but like the first thing I would not ask him about wouldn't be Friday the 13th. Wouldn't be playing Jason. I'd be like, how did it feel to get killed by Michael Dudikoff in Avenging Force, and when did you join Pentangle?
It's so obscure.
Very. He'd be like, a man of great culture. I'd be like, yeah, dude, you got killed in khakis in a flannel with a hat on that looked like a MAGA hat in Avenging Force when you got kicked off that roof in the shipyard. That's one of my favorite movies. I can't. And whenever, because I was watching, I was like, that's Kane Hodder. Jason exists in the canon films. Son of a bitch, I knew it.
I met one.
He can teleport.
I met one of the Jasons. I met C.J. Graham.
C.J. Graham?
Yeah.
He was part 3, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Was that him or Ted White? I can't remember.
Which one did he do?
I think C.J. Graham was Jason part 3. Isn't he dead? Did he just pass away? No.
No.
CJ
I met him a couple years ago at a horror convention, and
Right.
I had done a head sketch of Jason for somebody. He saw it. He's like, "Oh my god, who did this?" And he goes, "Oh, it's one of my buddies." He's like, "Oh, can you bring him over here?" He wanted to meet me, so I did, and we took a photo with the piece. I can't remember where the hell I put it though.
Yeah, he was part 3.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
pretty
a big
sure.
dude as well.
He's 6'3". He's my height. He's 6'3". Other dude was taller. The one from the movie we're talking about, Freddy vs. Jason. He's like, what, 6? I think he's like 6'5". Because like I said, that was the dude in the but Kane Hodder's like 6'3" too. He's a big guy too. Mm-hmm. They were talking about that the other day on I can't remember what I was listening to. But,
he's the one who played Jason Lives. That's
part 6.
Yeah,
Jesus
our
Christ.
favorite
Yeah, he was
one.
a part 6. My favorite one. Yeah,
our favorite freaking one, and it's like
Yeah. Ted White is the one that passed. He passed
Ted
this
White
last year.
Yeah. He was in part 6. Yeah, dude. That movie's great. It's so it's meta. It's self-aware. And it just made it that much better. And speaking, we're talking about Friday the 13th. Has anybody watched any of the Womp Stomp Productions Friday the 13th fan films, like Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow? They just released the trailer for the second one.
Not yet.
No.
Never Hike Alone is on YouTube, and so is Never Hike in the Snow. They're both of them are under an hour, and phenomenal
They're the
for fan
ones, you
films.
said?
Tom Matthews, Tommy Jarvis from Jason Lives is in Never Hike Alone. He comes back for the sequel, and the sheriff in Never Hike in the Snow is Vincent. He was the deputy. He was Deputy Rick in Part 6. Wherever the red dot goes, you bang. He was in Shocker. Remember him from Shocker? He was a cop in there too, and he got possessed. But he's the sheriff in Never Hike in the Snow. And I think it's cool that they got actual actors from the franchise to come in and play roles. And if you think about it, his character never died in Part 6. Tommy and Megan saved his life because they locked him in the cell in the Forest Green jail.
Well, I have a hot take on Freddy versus Jason that I want to get to that you guys are gonna like lose your minds over. But first, I want to answer this from Joe Nansons. He asked, he mentions that he saw a fan film of Jason versus Michael. Where did you see that?
That was the same one that I was mentioning earlier. That was on YouTube. I forget exactly who did it, but it was extremely well done.
I think I've seen that too. It is good.
And then he was asking any thoughts on the upcoming Scream movie. I am definitely going to see it. I love Scream. I know a lot of people
There's a trailer that dropped, isn't there?
Yep. I think so.
I think so, but I haven't seen a trailer. I don't care. I'm going to see it because I love that franchise. I know a lot of people had a problem with the most recent movie, but
I enjoyed it.
I loved it. I thought there was a lot of moments in that movie, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she's like a diehard as well, and she said that it was incredible. She's also, well, maybe I'll tell you afterwards. She's working on something related to Scream, but I'll say it off air. Just remind me.
I haven't seen a Scream. I haven't seen a Scream movie since the third one came out, like a new one.
I've seen a couple of them. I can't even remember which.
I love the first one.
I hated 4. 4 is the worst, but everybody loves 4. It's just really weird, but I hate it.
I'll tell you what, all you need is the first one, Draven. That's all you need. I'm freaking dying over here. That's all you need.
I'm losing a lot of blood, Billy.
I love it. Yeah, so my hot take on the ending of Freddy versus Jason, a lot of people wonder, well, who do you think won? And most people will agree that it was pretty much a draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or people will say Jason won because he was carrying Freddy's head out of the water. But I have a totally different take. I think that Freddy would have won if it wasn't for Laurie. So Jason needed Laurie.
He did. And I think in the end, I don't know. For me, it's kind of like they're both in hell. And it's just like, I don't know, a fight that'll never end. Because especially when he gives that wink to the camera, it's like, we're not finished.
While talking about finishing, real quick, we need to finish him because he needs a lead. ETEP has got to get going, so we're getting him a nice outro. ETEP, take it away.
I love the Christine thing. I just watched that for the first time in years over Halloween, and I forgot how good that movie was. Yeah, I'm in the lab, me and my kitties. They're in the back. The tanks were fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine. We are working on building a laser and buying kitty litter and taking over the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But until then, you can catch me over on my channel, ETEP Okuin's the place to be reviews. in about well, you wait till you're done here and then come over. We'll still be there. We got Holy Shit News tonight, episode 10. Myself, Tony Tone Deaf, CJP Forgotten with music from the Legion of Memers, Angela Straven, and our special guest tonight, Nick Utan from the World Class Bullshitters will be joining us. And then don't go away, because after the show, there's the other show, the after show, and it's not going to be taken down this time by YouTube because I showed him. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not on my channel and I'm gonna be kind. And yes, but come on over after you're done here. Thank you so much, Trina, for having me on. I appreciate it, and I look forward to coming back. This chat is awesome. This panel, you guys know you're all amazing human beings. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Enjoy your show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And ETEP's link will be in the description so you guys can find his channel and go over there.
Thank you, Solar Warden also put it in the chat. Thank you, Solar.
Oh, thank you.
And now that you mention it, my take after I just thought of it is that Freddy actually won, because at the end, him doing the wink basically kind of says that they're in a dream world.
I'm actually, though, this is what I took. So Jason wins the first one, but the wink is to signify that they were in plans to do a second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you haven't seen the last of me. That's what I took away from it.
Yeah, I think that was how I took it as well. Like, oh, you thought I was dead?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Was it the end? Was it the first one? Where they like get in the car and it's like Freddy. Is that the first one? I can't remember.
Yeah. They leave the house and they hop in the car.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, obviously he's not dead.
Actually, wasn't that the end of the movie?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I thought you said the beginning.
No.
Oh, I might have.
But
I meant the end.
I thought I heard the end. But anyway, I knew what he was saying. But no, I still think that it's like they're on the other side, or they're in a dream world, because when he's coming out of the lake, it's the sunken in cabin is what he's walking towards. So
and there's like all these corpses and stuff. That's like a dream world for Jason. So it would make sense that to be in a dream world. Exactly.
So for me, it's either they're in the dream world or like they're in hell and they're going to continue going at it.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it looks like Freddy is is going to be the winner, of someone who's going to be tormenting Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
That's interesting. The director thinks that Jason won.
Oh.
But the director also doesn't know English properly, and he got the water thing wrong.
That's funny.
Well, I liked the way it ended, actually.
Oh,
because,
it was a great ending.
Yeah, because it's like, you can't kill these guys off. Like, that was my big, oh man, oh no, I'm having PTSD right now. That was one of my big problems with the new Michael movies. That they, like, the Halloween movies, Halloween Ends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you just can't do that.
No, the first one, I was fine with that first one out of those three. I didn't see the second one. I saw the last one because it was kind of free or whatever. But oh my god, no, the first is the only one that I'm okay with. But the ending should have just been left open, where like either it's up to he could have gotten away, or he could have burned in that house. Like the way that it was kind of how it ended made more sense in that regard. But then when they did the sequel, I'm like, why would they do a sequel? That's so stupid. And then it's like, oh no, there's actually 3 of them planned. I'm like, okay, you lost.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Joe Nansen says, I really didn't like what they did with that new Halloween movie. They had some loser try and be the new Michael Myers. Exactly.
It was
and see, and this is the reason why
bad.
I told a few people that I've hated the original Halloween 3, because it wasn't Michael Myers. Had nothing to do with him. And I understand that originally what they were going to do with this for Halloween, Season of the Witch, I hated it. But originally they were planning on actually having a bunch of different like characters for each Halloween movie. But the original was so well received.
Originally.
Yeah, but the original one was so well received that they said, okay, well, we're going to continue the story of Michael Myers. And once they knew they had that beast on their hand, I don't even know why they tried to put him back in the box when they did the third one. It really just didn't make any sense. I think my only gripe with the Halloween series is the way that they did the whole connection with him and a mystical power from Egypt and everything. Like all the way they did it was just so poorly executed.
The thorn,
I mean,
or
don't
whatever?
get me wrong.
Oh, the thorn. Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
thorn line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a way they could have done that where it might not have sounded as stupid and as ridiculous as it wound up being. There could have been a way to do it, but they just dropped the ball at that point because they were just making movie after movie to capitalize on the success that the franchise was having.
Wait.
absolutely.
You guys are gonna have to help me out here. What movie did they talk about this Egyptian thing?
Well, it's called the. How do they put
It's
it?
called The Curse of Michael Myers, I believe.
It's
Yeah,
the thorn
the
or
thorn-
whatever cult or something.
Yeah, it's the Thorn. I keep wanting to say trilogy, but that's not what it's called. The
It,
Thorn series. I can't remember how they say it, but it's basically how Michael Myers became Michael Myers, and it's because of a ancient curse that was not ancient, but a curse that was put on him.
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and so
wh-
he.
Where
Yeah,
would
they're
one
called-
find this?
So they're a cult. It's called the Cult of Thorn.
That's it.
What
Yeah.
was a cult of druids whose activity spans over several millennia. The nature of the cult is different depending on which version of Halloween you watch. So
Yeah.
This was hold on. This
And
is some
it's,
kind of like fan lore thing, or it
exists
was
No.
in the 4 through 6 timeline.
Yeah, Halloween
okay.
4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
okay. I'm not.
Because there's
as
like
versed
3 or 4 timelines with Halloween.
Yeah, it's basically a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Some
Okay,
people
well, I
think
was not
that
aware of
only
that.
1 and 2 are like only Halloween 1 and 2 are the
Mhm.
real Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that.
And don't get me wrong, it's not that some of the other ones weren't entertaining, but that whole thing with that curse stuff and all that, yeah, just the way it was executed was poor.
We got Danielle Harris out of it. That's all I care about.
The one guy, and I always keep forgetting his name, the one with the coat and the hat. He shows up on the street and everything like
Dr.
that. He's
Loomis?
the same one that
Loomis?
they used in no, the other guy. They used him in Jason Goes to Hell because he has the Necronomicon. You're blanking on that one, ain't you?
Yep.
He's the one that shows up, and he's the one that drags Michael. When that guy finds Michael in the sewer at the end of 4, going into 5. He's the guy with the freaking hat and the cloak that's walking around with Michael.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Shit, I'll have to
man.
look up his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Same.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Nanchins, I don't mind the idea of him like being supernatural with the curse and everything like that. I guess I would have kind of branded it differently,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't hate it. I definitely like it a lot better than the new trilogy that's out.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of tried to allude to it in the new trilogy, though, with the Doctor or whatever. Because he had that tattoo or whatever. And they tried to allude to it. The one in the first movie of the new trilogy.
They referenced the Thorn,
Yeah,
the Cult of Thorn.
Yeah.
Oh
I gotta
man, I'm
see
gonna
it.
have to
I-
watch that again.
Yeah, I picked it up for like $7 during Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's Blu-ray, like 4K. Oh, okay, $7, not a problem. Because I didn't hate it. I still think it was a good movie, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Well,
agree. The first one of the new trilogy is I actually watched it because first I was a little trepidatious about it, because new stuff coming out.
So it explains his immortality, basically. The Thorn curse, basically.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense that it would happen on Halloween 4 because you had 1 and 2, which were like basically like one full movie,
Mhm.
and then 3, which was a different movie, and then you start 4 with like this whole new premise of the Thorn curse.
Yep.
Okay, so they went with that. All right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it now.
The timeline for Halloween is just super convoluted to begin with.
Yeah, it very much is. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. Like which version of Michael do you want?
Which they could have fixed in these new ones, and I felt like that's what they were doing with one and the second one. And
Oh God, who was that?
They
Was
just
that
went off the
Coolio?
rails.
Yeah, I think it
No,
was.
you're thinking no, it was
They also had
Rhymes.
LL Cool J in one of them.
Busta Rhymes and LL Cool J. Busta
Oh,
Rhymes
Busta
had
Rhymes. That's it.
Resurrection.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes. Yeah.
That was
And I think
H2O.
LL Cool J was H2O. Yeah.
Mhm.
On this one, Thorn or Rob Zombie films, I'm gonna go with Thorn.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the first Rob Zombie film is good, all the way up until the point where they start trying to reimagine the first film. If they would have just left everything in the asylum, I could have dealt with that.
Yeah. I what I don't like about the Rob Zombie one too is they were fixating too much in the opening of him as a kid, and he was just the actor they picked was horrible. He was just annoying to see on camera. I don't know. There's something bothered me about it like that. But the dude who played Michael Myers, I thought was good. The silent part, like Tommy was saying, it was good. But yeah, it quickly just turned into like a remake completely.
Yeah, and they had Michael Myers talk in the second Rob Zombie film. Like I think he says "die" to the doctor. I think it was to Dr. Loomis.
I've never seen the second Rob Zombie one.
I think you're right. I only saw it once, I think. Yeah,
I've seen it once and regretted it ever since.
Oh my God! Well, they ruined Loomis's character completely.
I know, like how can you ruin Dr. Loomis, dude?
They made him like a narcissist and all, and like that's not what the character is, not on any level.
I can't. I don't like Rob Zombie films. I just don't.
No, there's I think like one out of
I
his
like
white
House
trash
of a Thousand
ones.
Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and that's probably it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah, you know what? I actually didn't mind 3 from Hell. I thought it was just goofy. It was kind of like the Devil's Rejects Part 2, but it was a little bit more goofy, I think.
Didn't they all die in like the second one though? I don't remember.
They leave it open to interpretation. They're shooting at the car, but you don't really see them die. And they kind of explain it in 3 from Hell what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe I didn't see that one then.
Yeah, Joe Nanson's. The Halloween 1 is a masterpiece, in my opinion.
That was damn good.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You could watch 1 and 2 back to back, and then like the first out of the newest ones, and be like, yeah, I'm content if you want, just like that.
Yeah, and I've seen actually 1 and 2 packaged together with none of the other movies.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's a thing.
Well, it's just like the NECA figures they put out. I will pick up most of the Michael Myers ones, except for the new movies and the Part 3 ones. I won't touch them.
I did get the one from. I have the NECA one from that the newest one out of those 3 or whatever. The first one. I have that one. It's a good figure. I like it.
Yeah,
I have the Lori as well. I found her somewhere for pretty cheap, and I had gotten her on the same time.
Oh, I love that movie.
Good God. Oh, good God.
I love that.
Right
here too. I
this
thought it was
one
good.
right there. The Monsters.
Oh, that movie was bad. Like it.
That wasn't even bad. That was a horrendous train wreck.
There's aspects that I like of it because I like the backstory and how it leads into the sitcom. My problem is they needed to have a laugh track, and the whole movie should have been black and white, not just the little bit at the end. If they had a laugh track and the whole movie was black and white, it would have been good. Apparently, he wanted to do it all in black and white, but I guess the studio wouldn't let him do it.
Wow.
I'm so sorry, Trina. Did you have more to say about that one?
Oh, I was just answering. I love Trick or Treat. I love that little Sam kid.
Yeah, same.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Did they
one.
ever say what he was supposed to be? Like some people, like they almost kind of hint that he's alien at one point.
I don't know. He looks kind of like
Krampus and this Trick or Treat are in the same universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like reference to Sam or whatever in Krampus.
Oh, okay.
I got the NECA figure. I'll do that near Halloween. But yeah, I really did like that movie. Yeah, to me, he just looks like some deformed thing. Oh, Spirit of Halloween. That's a good theory.
Yeah, I can't chime in. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
It's been ages since I've seen it.
Yeah, I forget what service is on. I want to say it's on HBO Max, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, any last thoughts?
Well, my last thought is this: if they are planning on doing another movie like this, don't wait until Robert Englund is in the grave to do it. You son of a bitches, get on it.
I know, for real.
Tell me about it, because I know they said that Blumhouse they I guess they have the rights now for Nightmare on Elm Street, and they said they want to get Robert Englund to come back to do at least.
Didn't he say he wanted to do it one more time, and then that'd be it?
That's what I heard too. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah, don't waste it.
I could have met him at like maybe 3 Horror Hounds ago, and his line was fucking huge, and there was no way I was gonna get to see him. I tried to, and they basically turned people away. But if he ever comes back, I'm gonna get it.
Oh yeah, you have to. What a great guy. Yeah, the show that I was at there, they didn't really advertise it, and he was pissed about it too. He's like, "What's wrong with these promoters?" He goes, "All they had to do, fly me down a day early, no, a week early if you wanted." I would have hit every radio station. I would have went on television program. I don't care. I want to talk about this stuff because it's fun. These conventions are great. People love it. It's a community thing. He goes, "What's wrong with them?" Like he was getting wasted while he was there. Like he just kept, he had a bottle under the table. He just kept refilling it. And he's like, and he was just going off on these people. Like, what the hell? Cause like his line was, it was pretty decent. But then like, you know, once he kind of went through it, it's just a bunch of us were kind of like around the table. And he was, like I could see him from where my booth was. So I'm like, oh, his line's kind of died down. Let me go give him a piece of artwork or something. I had that female Freddy piece. So when I brought it to him, like in the middle of that, he's like, "Oh wow!" He just grabbed it, he put it to his chest, and he goes, "I'm taking this home with me." He goes under his table and he got out like a little leather briefcase, and then he just like slipped it in there. I said, "Hey, it was for you. I wanted you to have it." So yeah, so that's no problem. He's like, "Come over here."
That was him fighting everybody off so he can look at the art piece.
Oh shit!
I love that. That was like a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
That fight was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
so much fun. But yeah, no, like I said, he's the one. He pulled me in. He's like, yeah, let's get this photo. And then we were just hanging out for a little bit, and he was telling more about why some of these promoters are so stupid. Because he goes, they paid a lot of money to get him there, a whole lot of money. That's why they never did that show again. Whoever the person was, he couldn't get his money back on what he did. There was a bunch of people there, celebrities and shit.
Yeah, Viddy's met everybody.
I met a good chunk of people, not everybody. When I was in New York, I met a good number of people, but not at conventions. They were everywhere else.
That's cool. Well, I love your profile picture right now. That's
Oh,
awesome.
thanks. That's why I said I had to find it for this.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I had one like that.
well, again, if you ever get a chance to go to a show, you see him there. Yeah, don't waste the opportunity. Jump on
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Oh, speaking of that, the guy that played Jason in this movie, oh man, Ken Krisinger,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be at Horror Hound.
Yep. Yeah, he is.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
And there's still like a month or so or more until that is happening. So they still have other guests that they're probably going to announce. So
Yep. Yeah. Dee Wallace is going to be there.
Oh, nice. She's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved her in Frighteners.
Oh, yeah.
She was so good in that. That movie was crazy. We should watch
She-
part of that sometime.
Yeah, definitely. And we have to watch probably some Mystery Science Theater 3000 movies. They are so funny.
Okay. I've never really seen any of those.
Hey, Frankie, thanks for showing up.
Hey, Frank.
You know what series I want to go back and rewatch now after learning that he was in them? I want to go back and watch Hatchet.
Oh, yeah, those are
Yeah,
good.
I want to see those
Yeah,
too.
Kane Hodder was in that. I didn't know that he played the Crowley character.
Yeah, I have a figure of him I have to unbox.
Oh, Soul Assassin. That's awesome. He said Sergeant Slaughter followed him back after he retweeted.
Nice.
Yeah, the Sergeant's fantastic.
yeah, he is.
Very cool.
Sarge won't follow my new account.
I'm sure if you tweet or retweet something of his, he'll follow you.
Yeah, he used to follow my old account, the one that Twitter still just refuses to go over the appeal for. So, thanks.
Yeah, yeah,
I can't believe he's still doing that with these accounts.
I know. So much for Elon and his promises. But at any rate, so yeah, anybody have any last thoughts about the movie before we wrap up?
Again, I wish that they had done another one or they make more. But it said we probably won't be seeing that. But for what it is, very fun movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Go ahead, go watch it. Their fights are great. The human people that we follow, not the best storylines, but again, it's surprising though some of the actors that are in it. I mean, they were good. I like the lead chick, the blonde. She did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she actually reminded me of the girl in what was it? Dream Warriors. A
little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever, Arquette or whatever.
Yeah, yes, that's her. Wasn't she? Was she the one that pulled something out of her dream as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Great.
no, I thought she did awesome. I'd like to see her do more movies because she is a pretty good actress. I love the screaming that she did and stuff too. But when she had to get tough, it was believable. Her scenes, like they worked.
Yeah, I agree. She did a great job. And I was reading some facts about the casting and stuff. And I guess as a kid, she was terrified of Freddy.
There had to be some scene with him on top of her in the house.
It's just awesome that she got to that was her childhood fear. And so that she gets to be in a movie where she beheads him, and that's just awesome.
That is
my.
That was so cool when I saw it in the theater, because you think it's going to be a machete that goes through him, and it ended up being his own claw because he's ripped off the arm. And that was cool. And yeah, it was great that it was actually, she grabbed that machete and just lobbed his head off. That was some really cool stuff. And
Yeah.
again, I like John Ritter's son. I think it's a shame they didn't really use him in much of anything else. Like he had a TV series a little bit before the pandemic that like he was seeing angels. I think it was an ABC show. It was actually really good and it's like uplifting. Like it had a good message to it. Will Sasso was in it. It was a really good show, but yeah, it's a shame. Like they don't know what they're doing with these actors because I think he should have had a better career. That kid.
Yeah, I agree. He was good in this movie. He should have had more opportunities.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, again, super awesome movie. One of my favorite in the franchises.
Yeah, same here. And it's a shame that was Robert Englund's last role as Freddy.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless they get off their asses and do something, do it quick.
Blumhouse, if you're gonna do it now.
I know, for real.
He was great in Stranger Things.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah.
He was so good in that. And
whole
when
season was good.
Yeah, tell me when you were watching it though. You're like, oh yeah, come on, he could do another one easily.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. That made it for me.
Well, the whole season was like kind of reminiscent of Nightmare on Elm Street.
It really was. I think that's why I liked it.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So good.
Well,
remember,
all right.
everyone, we'll see you in your dreams.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming, and everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for your time. And next week, we'll be reviewing Frightmare, which is free to watch on Tubi if you guys want to watch it and follow along in the chat. So let's go around the horn and let people know where they can find you. Tommy, we'll start with you.
I'm the messenger of God. You're doomed if you stay here.
Hey everybody, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, still doing shorts, having a lot of fun with the toy reviews, the BattleBot videos, and of course the pigs who actually run the channel. Everybody thinks I'm in charge. I'm really not. They control everything. Do what they say or you will wind up like me at their service. Guys, thanks so much for being here in the chat, for adding to the conversation with your awesome comments in the chat. It's always a blast to see all the people that stop by. Thank you so much once again for being here. Thank you to everybody that's been on the panel to talk about this movie. And we're going to keep doing this and having some fun talking about the things we like and talking about the things that we enjoy, as opposed to some of the haters out there. Y'all could kiss a guinea pig's ass. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent. And Jason Pig will get your ass in the middle of the night.
Nice. All right, Vinny, you're up.
Yeah, this was a blast. I hope everyone had a great time. But yeah, no, it's always fun hanging out with friends, talking about the cool stuff that we love. Like Tommy said, I want to do more of that as well over on my channel, Vinny Art. So get over there, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. But yeah, we're going to have more fun with all that stuff. More tour reviews coming at you soon. I am working on City of Venus 2 at the moment, but if you do want some awesome books, they are available. I have the first City of Venus. If you like horror, we got Through the Woods. It's a ghost story. It's an awesome ghost story. I get the entire book over there. Whole story is complete. It's 100 pages, hardcover. You're gonna love it. And of course, Shadow of the Kraken, my newest comic book that is released right now. All 3 projects you can find if you go to vinnyart.com. If you go to mellaartworld.com, it'll take you to at least 2 of those. But yeah, you can find my links everywhere. They're on my YouTube channel. They're on my Twitter. Same thing, at vinnyart, Instagram, all that stuff. But yeah, no, this was a blast. I can't wait to talk about more horror and other great stuff. And yeah, everyone have a great night. Trina, thank you so much for having us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Oh yeah.
And Draven, you're up.
All right. Yeah, so after here, I'm going to be going over to ETEPS for his show. And then after his show, we'll be watching tonight's episode of Dynamite over on the channel. So if you're into wrestling or you haven't been into wrestling in a while and you want to get back into it, you're more than welcome to come over there and watch along with us. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure being here talking about horror movies. And I can't wait to the next one.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And yeah, just thank you guys for being here, and thank you all for coming. This was awesome, and we'll see you same time, 7 p.m. Eastern next week for the next show, movie review, which will be, like I said, Frightmare. So yeah, everybody have a great night. Still. Yeah, I'm still a noob at this. Here we go.
It's all good.